I remember being 7 years old, living in Iran, and my father would take me to one of my favorite places to go to. It was an indoor swimming pool, massive indoor swimming pool. And they would make these special drinks that I love drinking. And there was a man there. His name was Sharo, good friend of the family. They now live in Southern California, love their family. And I remember every time I would speak to this man, he would always give me so much respect. Always give me so much respect. And one time he sits me down and he looks me in my eyes and he tells me this. He says, Patrick, do you know why I respect you so much? And I said, no, I really don't know. He says, because one day you're going to lead the world. Because one day you, as a 7-year-old, are going to be a 25, 35, 45-year-old leading other people. I want to give you respect from now. I get the chills every time I tell this story, all over my body. You see, because any president in the world, any great CEO in the world, any great entrepreneur in the world, at one point was a teenager with a dream and a heartbeat thinking, I want to do something big in my life. I want to make an impact on my life. How do I do it? So today's message is directed to teenage entrepreneurs. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're not a teenage entrepreneur, share this video with teenage entrepreneurs that you may know, or even teenagers that want to figure out a way how to make more money. I'm going to share 14 different ideas that any teenager can put in place and start making money today, because I'm talking from experience on how I started making money at 10 years old. Okay, so let me start off telling you a couple ways I did it. I remember being 10 years old, running a recycling business at a swimming pool, local in Germany. I remember being 13 years old, going around all over the place. I have my pointer, so I'm going to go with the first one. The first point for teenage entrepreneurs to make money is something I did. And I'm telling you, I didn't grow up in a wealthy family. So some people that are watching this, they may say, well, I'm a prestigious family. I would never, bring myself to that level. That's totally fine. I'm just telling you how I made my money. I was 13 years old, living in Glendale, California. And I had a friend of mine named Adrian. We wanted to buy this card of Sergei Fedorov. And Sergei Fedorov at that time, Upper Deck came out. Some of you may know Sergei Fedorov and Yarmir Yager. Their rookie card was a fascinating rookie card. We both wanted it. And we wanted to buy a box of Upper Deck and split the 36 packs, 18, and would split it. And so when our parents would go to sleep at night, 10, 11 o'clock, we had a shopping cart. I'd go grab the shopping cart and we'd go to all the local, and this is what I did. You don't have to do this. We went to the local trash cans and we would collect all. It was either, the cans or it was 2-liter bottles. And we would collect them. We'd go to the local Albertsons. We would recycle every single one of them. We'd make $5. And we do that a few times a week. Eventually, after a month, you have about $100. And you can buy cards or whatever it was. That was mine. Today, there are many other ways to do this. If I was 12 years old today, 11 years old today, 13 years old today, I would go to every single person in my community that my parents approve of. You got to make sure your parents can say, you can talk to these guys, you can talk to these guys, and you got to make sure you get that confirmation from your parents. But I would go and I would ask, hey, do you mind if I collect all your cans? And I would give them special plastic bags or boxes for them to put, and you'd come and clean it for them, except you're recycling. And I would bring that back and I would have bags and I would ask my mom or my dad to take me to the recycling place. And I would recycle and I would take that money. So one, you're being a positive, a great citizen to society because you're cleaning the place out. And number two, you're making money for doing that. That's one of the ways any teenage entrepreneur can make money. You may say, Pat, I don't like that idea. Stay with me. Second idea. Here's the second idea. Social media. Most adults have no clue about social media. When I tell you no clue, when I say adults, I'm not talking 22-year-olds. I'm talking about maybe 35, 45. They don't have any clue. Most of them don't know a lot about social media. And you would be amazed how many of them are intimidated by it. For instance, this whole idea came about because I'm on Snapchat and I'm pretty active now on Snapchat. I'm on a 90-day health transformation program. I'm trying to get to a certain shape that I've never been before. And I want to get to that. So every morning I post my pictures on what I look like. And it's not the most comfortable thing to do, but I want to get rid of this gut. I want to get in a very, very good shape, just like I used to be at 21, 22 years old. And I'm starting to dialogue a lot with people that use Snapchat. Right, by the way, why don't we put my Snapchat code up here so other people can use it as well. And follow me on Snapchat. I'm very active now on Snapchat. And I'm getting a lot of teenagers that would message me and say, hey, Pat, can you do a video on entrepreneurship for teenagers? Hey, Pat, can you give us some ideas? I know you talk a lot about business and scaling and how to do this, how to do it. How about me? I'm 14 years old. I want to find a way how to make money. How can you help me? So the idea for this video came from Snapchat because I got a message. I responded back and I said, let's make a video for this. Now, I didn't know how Snapchat worked. Let me tell you how I learned about how Snapchat worked. I'm in Bakersfield once. Mario, were you with me in Bakersfield when Shauna Blade was right next to me? And I'm asking Shauna, show me how to use Snapchat. And she started giving me an idea about Snapchat. Then I go to Florida. I'm spending time with Phoebe Kahindi. I'm spending time with Phoebe. She is now, I want to say, 16 years old. And for 30 minutes, she's shown me Snapchat. 16 years old, 37 years old. She's shown me Snapchat, right? Patrick, do this. Here's how this works. You need to do this. You need to do that. We're going through the whole thing together. You can do this, and you can put your finger, and then you can do this. All these things she taught me. I knew nothing about it. By the way, let me put it to you this way. I would have paid $100 for that. I would have paid $100 for that. You may be 13 years old watching and saying, Pat, come on now. You'd pay $100 for that? Yes. Yes. If you go locally and you tell your mom and dad, Mom, Dad, can you start telling friends and family that I'm going to teach everybody about social media, how to use Instagram, and who do we have that's business owner? Can you help me out? Parents don't mind helping you how to make money. So then you go out there and start talking about how to use this, how to use that. Next thing you know, you're making $50, $100 here. There's even a guy from my pastor's son who started teaching other people, his name is Dallas, who started teaching other people how to get a following on Twitter, how to get a following on Instagram, how to get a follow. He started really doing so well that other people started paying him $300 a month, $200 a month, $400 a month for doing this, and now he's got a business for himself. Every single month he helps increase following, and I know a lot of teenagers know how to increase following and exposure that maybe adults won't know how to do. I will tell you, if I was 13 years old today, if I was 12 years old today, if I was 14 years old today, I would be making minimum $2,000 to $3,000 a month just teaching adults on social media. It would not be a hard thing to do if I was that today. Now you may say, Pat, I don't want to do social media. No problem. I got another one for you. Fiverr. Let me tell you about Fiverr. Can we put a picture of Fiverr up here so they know what it is? Fiverr is a website for freelancers. And you may ask, Pat, but for Fiverr you have to be 18 years old. No, you don't. For Fiverr you have to be 13 years and older to be on Fiverr. Now you need a parent approval to get paid and all that other stuff. But you need to be 13 years or older as a freelancer on Fiverr to make it work. So what can you do on Fiverr? Here's what Fiverr is all about. You're a good writer, you say, I edit blogs for 20 bucks, for 10 bucks, for 5 bucks, no problem. People start sending you postings. So you start with friends and family, and if you do a good job for them, you ask them to review you, and your rating goes up. Now you're somebody that other people know, and you start getting $5, $10, $20 offers from other people. We do this all the time ourselves at the home office. Write, voice, you would be amazed how many movie studios need a voice for a certain script, and all you do is sit there, record the same scene 7 times, and they pay 20 bucks for it. Editing, graphic design, animation, Photoshop. There's a lot of opportunities on Fiverr for teenagers to make money on. Now, point number 4, babysitting. Pretty simple, not that complicated. Can I help you babysit? Great. Just make sure the parents that you choose to help babysit, your parents approve of. It is very critical for your parents to approve of who you're babysitting while you're doing that. Number 5, pet sitting. There's a lot of guys and kids in the community that'll come and say, you want me to walk the dog? I'll do for 10 bucks. I'll do it for 5 bucks. I'll do it for 20 bucks. And great, they go do laps for 20, 30 minutes, and I'll give them 10 bucks. I don't have a problem with that. And depending on the community you live in, you start watching people that have dogs. You monitor them when you're outside. You know, that lady has a dog, this lady has a dog. And you ask them, hey, would you like me to walk the dogs for you once a day? I charge $5 for once a day, $10 for twice a day, whatever the number may be for you. And you would be amazed how many people will say yes. The next thing you know, if you have 10 clients, 10 dogs, and you're walking them once or twice or 3 times a week, you're making $500 a month. $500 a month is a lot of money for a 13-year-old. Number 6, running errands. Running errands. I have a next door neighbor, this kid, his name is Luke. I love this kid. I mean, I tell this kid every single time, you can do big things in your life, because he'll come, he'll knock on the door, and he'll say, hi, Jennifer. Hi, Patrick. Is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything I can help you with? Such as what? Now, family, pure world-class family on who they are. Is there anything I can help you with? They'll come and they'll play with my kids, or they'll come and they'll do reading, or they'll come so many different ways. And you're talking $20 here, $20 there, and we may not think $20 is a lot of money. But Luke is making 20 bucks here and there, and that's 100 bucks, 80 bucks. And he does that with 5, 6 different families. Look at the kind of potential that could be. Next it could be landscaping. Landscaping is pretty obvious. A lot of kids do it. A lot of teenagers do it. Mowing the lawn, shoveling the snow, picking up leaves, pulling out weeds, clean out the garage. There's just a lot of ways you can do that and get 3 buddies. Ask who needs it, and they'll pay 30 bucks, and you split it with your 3 buddies, $10 a piece, and you can clean it up, or $50. Many people don't have, I wouldn't have a problem doing it myself and paying for somebody with that. Next one, number 8. Codecademy is a website strictly created, and currently it's very free. Investors have invested, I think, $250 million into Codecademy. It is a website similar to Khan Academy. They teach you how to code for free. You don't pay them nothing. So you're a 12-year-old kid. You know the world's headed towards technology, and you want to learn how to code. Go on Codecademy and start learning how to code. You will learn how to code. And if you learn how to code, guess what? I am a person that runs a liquor store. I want to have a website. Now you can help me set up a website for $500. I'm somebody local that your father needs help with something. Dad, I'll help you with this. Your mom, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, people start asking you. Codecademy taught you how to build a website. Now you know how to do it. Now you have a website business, right? So codecademy.com. Number 9, selling products on eBay and Amazon. I did this before. You could sell baseball cards. You could sell a lot of different things. Nowadays, you can go to a 99-cent store and buy a bunch of things for 99 cents. And I'm being dead serious with you. If you have a 99-cent store where you live and you sell that for $7, you sell that for $5, and you add a $3.99 shipping and handling, everything's going from your house. I mean, you're making money and you don't even have to go anywhere. UPS comes and picks up 20 items you sold. It goes. Your PayPal account linked, approved by your parents. You're making money coming in. So there's a lot of ways you can do that with Amazon and eBay. Next, start a blog. Start writing a blog. So what do you write about? You can write about Mickey Mouse. You can write about Thomas and Friends. You can write about so many different things. You can write about movies that come out for teenagers. You can write about, rated G movies, cartoons, Disney movies. I met a guy the other day. Where were we at? We were in San Diego, and this gentleman got up, and he was a former attorney. Yeah. And he makes $150,000 per year. All he talks about is Mickey Mouse and Disneyland. That's all he talks about. All he talks about is Mickey Mouse and Disneyland. So you could talk about, Frozen. You can talk about, anything did you know about Frozen, anything did you know about cartoons, it doesn't matter what it is. Then you create a website, and there's a file, and you have your friends, family share it. And the next thing you know, you have affiliates on your website. They're buying things. You have partners. There's advertisement. Many opportunities will come up if you do that with a blog. Now, do that if you are a good writer, and make sure you get Google AdSense to help you out with that. Next one is starting a YouTube channel. Nowadays, Mark, what was that YouTube channel you were talking about where the kid reviews toys? EvanTube, right? I saw this. I was fascinated by it. Young kid. I want to say 8 years old, 9 years old. Yeah. EvanTube. How many subscribers did he have? He had millions of subscribers, 2 or 3 million. I want to say it was like 2.9 million type of thing. EvanTube. Let's see where you at. EvanTube has, let's put a picture of it so they can see it as well. Let's give EvanTube some love. 3.1 million subscribers. 3.1 million subscribers. He monetizes that. His video right there's got 3 million views. He monetizes that, and Amazon pays him an account, and he's 8 years old, 7 years old. So he reviews toys. You can review games. You can review technology. You can do how-tos, how to use Snapchat, how to use it. Can be it can be a how-to site. There's ways. I know Mario and I were 14 years old right now. We'd be running a prank YouTube channel, and we'd be rocking the house if we ran a prank YouTube channel. I would be a rock star. I'd be an online superstar if some of my friends from the past would know on the pranks I've pulled. 99% of them we can't even share with you right now. But you can do pranks YouTube channel. You can do an online tutor. I know a friend of mine. She would always come, and I would mentor her for many years when I was in California. What was it called? Tutors to You. Tutors to You with the number 2. Tutors to You. And she started the business very small, and she was charging, 10, 15, 20, 35 bucks. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, other people are working. She can't tutor the families anymore than other people can. And she started doing very, very well for herself with Tutors for You. So you can do that yourself. Mario, why don't we put the image as well so we can give her some love. You can sing, you can play an instrument, you can do a cover, you can do music lessons, you can do so many different things. Now, obviously, you got to figure out how to monetize your channel on YouTube, and you can click on the link on the bottom a video that explains how to get your YouTube channel to start monetizing, because you need a Google AdSense account, etc. So you need all these up, but it's not hard to do. A lot of kids are doing it now, and all you need, you can do with a phone camera. That's all you need. You need a phone camera. You can use it, a computer camera. You can put it up. You can get somebody to create an opening for you, the ending for you. It's not hard. You can use somebody from Fiverr to help you make the video cleaner. There's a lot of ways nowadays to create, and it's free to start a YouTube channel anyway. So give it a shot and see what happens. So I talked about that part. What was my last point I covered? What was the last point I just covered? I said start a YouTube channel. Okay, so if you're not going to start a YouTube channel, become a tutor. So you can tutor online, but you can also start a tutor. So you point number 12 is tutoring. You can tutor math, English, start local, tell kids, put signs, put flyers, let parents talk about it. Next thing you know, you have a tutoring business. Number 13 is washing cars and detailing cars. I know a lot of 11, 12-year-olds who work on cars with their fathers, and they are fascinating. And they're fascinated by cars, and they're just so meticulous on how they handle cars because they saw it from their father on what they do. Locally, start doing car washes and do it right in front of the house. Tell everybody to come at this time over here, park the car, use your dad's stuff that he has, and charge 10 bucks, 15 bucks, and wash the cars with a buddy of yours and split the money by the end of the day. And let me tell you something. Here's a fascinating thing. I will not tip a kid or a teenager the same thing I will tip an adult. I don't know why that is, but we will tip teenagers more than we will tip adults. Let me explain. It's a psychological thing. We want to help, right? So if I go out there and all of a sudden somebody does a car wash, well, it's only $5, no problem. Here's another $20. That's 25 bucks. The other day we were in, I don't know where we were at. We were at Highland Park. I was looking at some purses for my wife, and my son and I were walking. These kids were doing lemonade stands, which is another way to make money. Lemonade stands. Oh, it's just $1 for a lemonade. I said, here's $20. Why are you doing this? We're part of an entrepreneur program. Remember this for the rest of your life. I gave 20 bucks each, and they left. They were so excited about it on what happened. And the last point number 14. Here's point number 14. This is my favorite one. And let me tell you, teenagers watching this, we are counting on you to help us out with this. And there is a lot of money if you figure out how to do this. Ready? Grab a pen and paper. You can do it with your parents. You can do it with a couple peers. You can do it with a sibling. And write down the most common problems that teenagers face today. I'll give you a few of them. Write down the most common problems teenagers face today, and how can you be the solution to those common problems. Ready? Let me help you out. Bullying, cyberbullying, how can you help with that? Number 2 could be drugs, cigarettes, alcohol. Believe it or not, nowadays it's out there with everybody, right? Sex, peer pressure, dating. I know most parents don't want to talk about this. It's out there. More are talking today than before, but it's out there. So how do you fix that? How do you talk about that? How do you create a business out of that that also serves and helps other people out? Peer pressure, comparison, constantly being compared to other kids, appearance, self-esteem, career, eating disorder, grades, fitting in, problems at home, broken home, financial. It doesn't matter what it is. These are the problems. And I want you to sit, because your mind is extremely creative. And unfortunately, teenagers watching this, the world is generally going to force you to no longer be creative. You keep being creative. Take your mind and say, what if we could do this? What if we could do that? What if we could do this? What if we could do that? What if we could do this? What it does, and then all of a sudden, oh my, we can do, and then see if there's a way of turning it into a business. And generally, it could cost you $500 to start a business, or $1,000, or $2,000, or $800, and then you can go to uncles, local people, helping you out. And next thing you know, you're starting some small that ends up being big. Is it going to work 100% of the time? Not at all. But guess what? Quit quitting. Keep going with it. You keep doing it, and all of a sudden, some idea could end up becoming so revolutionary where we're reading about you on Forbes magazine or Inc. magazine or Entrepreneur magazine or somewhere online that you created something that's being used around the world. Because we're counting on you to come up with new innovation that we can use one day ourselves. So with that being said, now that we have that down, we got the 14 different points, there's a couple things I want you to do. Most teenagers that choose to become entrepreneurs, you got to think how entrepreneurs think. Now, this is for young entrepreneurs, but teenagers nowadays are starting to read business books like never before. I wrote a book with a very good friend of mine called Tom Ellsworth. Tom Ellsworth is famous for being a part of Jamdat, and he was one of the 7 partners when they sold Jamdat to EA Sports for $680 million. He's a very good friend of mine. He's the president of our company now. He and I wrote a book called The Life of an Entrepreneur in 90 Pages. This is because of a video that we produced. Mario, when we launched the video on October 31st, 2015, that got 28 million views on Facebook, we decided to write a book called Life of an Entrepreneur in 90 Pages. Simple book. Buy this book, read this book. Any young entrepreneur, anybody watching this ought to read this, because the chapter number 1 is probably the most important chapter. And this is one of the reasons why we put a chapter number 1. It's called The Truth, Accepting Reality. It's a very difficult chapter, but it's a very important chapter. I wish I knew about that early on when I became an entrepreneur. Buy this book. Let's put a link somewhere on here. If we don't have it here, we can put a link on the description. If it's on my website, it'll be on the description as well for you to do that. Go read the book, Life of an Entrepreneur, 90 pages. And if you're watching this, you're not a teenager, please share this video with other teenagers that can apply some of these concepts and start making money. And if you are a teenager, there's a couple things I want you to do. Follow me on Snapchat, young entrepreneur, anybody. Follow me on Snapchat. Mario, let's put it again. You can pause it, look at the image, follow it, give you a second, okay? So now that you're back with us, follow me on Snapchat. Whatever you implement and you start getting results, I want to hear about it. Message me and tell me, Pat, this is what I did. Work for me. I made $6,000 the last year here, part-time. Hey, now, Pat, I did this last month. I made $428. Great. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about these success stories, because you're going to be a great example for a lot of other people saying, well, you know, for me to work, you need to be 16 years old, and no one's hiring 16-year-olds nowadays. You're taking the excuse away from all your other peers in high school who don't know how to make money, and you're making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000 a month as a teenage entrepreneur, helping out your parents to pay for your college education, a car when you need it. Obviously, your parents will have to approve of it, but you'll have an edge on life. You'll have an edge because you've learned how to work hard, create, make money, and bring value to the world. So that's a message to everybody here for teenage entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs. And I'm going to make a request here for you to subscribe to this channel. We are growing extremely fast right now with this YouTube channel, and I'm getting more and more requests. We can't do more than 2 videos at this time. I'm going to have some major projects that I'll be announcing here soon. So be sure you click on the bottom below to subscribe to this channel. Our goal is to get to 100,000 subs by August 31st, and we need your help and everybody's help to help us get to 100,000 fans. You know, we get a lot of great commentary as this being the greatest channel on YouTube for entrepreneurs, and we have so much different content that you can go on. I feel we can go pound for pound against anybody else on YouTube for content about entrepreneurship. So subscribe, watch a few other videos, and share this video with other teenage and young entrepreneurs. And if you got any questions, any comments, comment on the bottom. And if you watch this video on any other website, except for YouTube, you can always go back to patrickbetdavid.com, boom, for more videos. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.